Virgo, hello there, my beautiful friends. We're going to do your general tarot reading for late April, moving into early May 2026. Thank you so much for joining me today. You know, I appreciate each and every single one of you. So let's get right down to business, as always, and start you off with an oracle card here, just so we could dip our toes in the energy and see what's happening for the lovely Virgo collective. Hope you're all doing fabulous and fantastic, my friends. Let's get it going here. My guide, spirit team, talk to me. What do we got for the beautiful Virgo collective in late April, early May? It is Taurus season. Beautiful time of year. What energies, messages, insights can we take a little peek at? Yeah, we're just going to take a real quick look at this first card. Then we'll get into the full reading itself. At the very end, I'll pull you a bonus card from the Shadowland Tarot just to see what might be in the shadows or what shadow work you can lean into, which is always interesting. But let's get it going here. Let's rock and see what we got for Virgo, please. Let's get this card out nice and quick. What's the vibe? What's the energy? Okay, so we got this Queen of Swords. She means business. Now, this is not a regular tarot deck, of course. It's an oracle, but this queen figure just screams Queen of Swords vibes to me. And that energy is not really messing around, right? There's a lot of really great aspects to her. But before we fully dive into that, if you're new here, I'll be speaking about the April subscriber surprise towards the end, so you might want to check that out. And also, if you could kindly illuminate that like button by tapping it right on its third eye, you know I'd greatly appreciate it. But enough of the promo, back into the reading. Let's talk more in depth about this card. So we see this strong divine feminine figure with that big crown. She doesn't look angry, but she doesn't look the happiest. She's pretty neutral. So for some Virgos, there could be a lot of things or situations where you're not very reactive about it, or you might feel pretty neutral, which is usually a very good place to be. But when I get Queen of Swords vibes, and again, this could be an air sign you're connected to, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, not gender specific, or this could be an energy you're stepping into. Honest, to the point, shrewd, smart, intelligent, strategic, and a lot of planning. So this is a very sharp energy that sees things clearly. It cuts the fluff. So I like this. But there is a downside to the Queen of Swords as well, because sometimes she could be a little mean. Sometimes that tongue could be a little sharp. Sometimes it could be a little aggressive as well. So that's just something to watch out for. I'm not saying that you're going to be going around hurting everyone's feelings, but the Queen of Swords sometimes could just be a little sharp and abrasive. So we're just going to put her down here again. There's honesty, straightforward to the point, which I really love. So we're going to put her down right there. Just watch out for anyone being a meanie. Let's get into tarot. And yeah, I always say that first card, it doesn't make or break the reading. It's just a little footnote. So let's get you 3 tarot cards in the upright. Then we'll get into that intuitive juiciness. Let's shuffle it up one time here for the beautiful Virgos. What's happening in late April, early May? And while we get this deck shuffled up and ready to go, let's talk about last week's reading. So it was titled The Serious Situation. So I find it interesting that we have this serious type of card right here leading us off this week. But to me, the main overarching theme last week was that there was either a bunch of Virgos going through some pretty serious things, right? Whatever they might be, whether it's work, personal relationships, or it was spirit saying hey, maybe something needs a little more attention, or maybe something should be taken a little more serious. So just keep that in mind, because that energy could bleed over for a couple weeks, but we're going to see what shows up this week. As you know, energy is very fluid, never set in stone. So only take this how it hits for you, because we could be seeing your vibe or somebody else, right? Let's get it going. 3 cards here for the beautiful Virgos. What is happening? I always say this is just like an energetic weather report, my good friends. Okay, this energy is off to the races. Okay. Got the 8 of Cups in position number 1. That's taking action, making a move of some kind. Not sure how I feel about it just yet, but let's keep going. What do we got here? Okay, work-related things potentially. I mean, it's collaborative. This could be someone else's energy we're picking up in the center, or someone that we might need to keep a little eye on, right? We got, cool. Yeah, very fast-moving energy for some reason. So we got the 7 of Swords in the background, but you also got a bonus card that popped out right after this one. We got the Knight of Swords himself. So the energy to me, Virgo, is kind of zipping and zooming around. Now, for some of you, that could be very busy. For some of you, that might be exhausting. For some of you, it could actually be a good thing. But let's go through. I'll give you some of the classical meanings and archetypes. Then we'll get into that juicy, intuitive stuff. But at first glance, I always love to look at the elements. Nice mixture this week, and I always like the elements because it frames the reading and shows us how things are going to flow. We have water and earth, beautiful combination on the front, but then we have a whole bunch of air right here on the back end. Now, when it comes to water, that actually works very well with Virgo, since you're an earth sign. Earth and water combine for blessings, in my opinion. But when I see water, that's more matters of the heart, matters of emotion, the internal realm. Partnerships is a big thing with water energy. Things or people that we're emotionally invested in, or things that we care about. Water can also be creativity, artistic expression, or emotional expression of some kind. So it can be great. The only downside with water is that sometimes we can be overwhelmed by this emotional energy. Sometimes this energy is a little unpredictable, right? The water moves like the tides. It's in, out, back and forth, ebb and flow. So we'll keep an eye on it. Moving to the middle, we do have an energy that's much more sturdy. We have Earth. Now, that's your power element. That's your comfort zone right there. When I see Earth, I think of inner stability and security, or security in general. Earth energy, think of day to day life, think of routine, work, just how your normal day to day goes. I think of, money, business, finances, investments, home, and family. So Earth energy represents the literal earth or world that we live within. The downside to earth energy, sometimes it doesn't move as much as we'd like or as quick as we like. Sometimes it's a little inflexible and stubborn or slow. So we want to keep an eye on that. Then here on the back end, we have a double dose of the swords. And funny, we started off with the sword energy. Now, the good thing about swords, to me, they represent planning, they represent strategy. They're extremely smart, they're extremely sharp. It could speak about digging for information, how you process information, communication. That's a huge thing when it comes to the swords. A lot of internal energy when you combine the both, because this is the heart, these are the mind. The downside to the swords, similar to the queen, is that sometimes it could be a little distant, cold, a little bit too much to the point. Sometimes it could be a little mean. So let's go through and start building this out piece by piece. Position number one, we're off to the races right here in the beginning. We have the Eight of Cups. Now, classically, a lot of people say the Eight of Cups represents walking away from something. But to me, I just see it as a neutral, right? I don't see it as just abandoning or moving away. This could be moving towards something. We see this individual, they're walking away from these 8 full cups. Notice it's nighttime. We got the moon up in the sky. This person is going off into the unknown. So there is this undertone of mystery, of the hidden, especially with this card on the back end as well. Now, the Eight of Cups, again, it's action. It's someone making a move, and not necessarily a bad one. So whether it's going towards, going away, doing something, not just like sitting there and standing by. So this could be good. Now, sometimes this can be abandoning something or walking away or even giving up when we look at its rougher side. But there is also this mystery. Always remember, the Eight of Cups is walking towards the Nine. So that's usually a good thing. So I'm cautiously optimistic with this, but we start with some action. Um, Eight of Cups can be a little impulsive sometimes, depending, right? Because remember, this is emotions and feelings. So when I see the Eight of Cups, it's me, it's like, oh, I'm just doing it because I feel like doing it. Nothing wrong with that. All right, so we're just going to put it back here by the amethyst to chill out for a minute. Now, moving to the middle, we have really intriguing energy. We have the Three of Pentacles, and we see those people, they're gathered around working with each other, very collaborative type of energy. This is one of my bigger career-based cards, like career or school or learning. It's like a group dynamic. That's always a big thing here. It's a card of teamwork. So teamwork makes the dream work. If you need assistance, don't be afraid to ask for it. Maybe someone's going to help you, ask you for assistance when this card is here. But remember, it's usually a smooth group dynamic. There is this underlying tone of creativity and artistic expression that I really like with the Three of Pentacles. But the downside to it, sometimes it could represent a person that's a little difficult to work with, or someone that's like, hey, why are you making this more difficult, right? Or it could just be spirit telling us like, hey, we're going to highlight someone you're connected to, not necessarily you. So we need to look at this person's energy. Now, moving to the back end, we do have the Seven of Swords, which should absolutely catch our attention. We see this little guy right here in his fez. He's making away with the Seven Swords in its most optimistic form. And I'll just say this, multiple signs have had this Seven of Swords this week, so don't get all freaked out about it. In its most optimistic, it just represents something that's not on your radar, something that's hidden, something that I don't quite know yet. So again, it doesn't have to be the sky is falling, right? It could just be something that hasn't surfaced or materialized yet. Cool. But when we get into the warning aspects of this, sometimes the Seven of Swords could represent an energy that's not very trustworthy, an energy that's doing things behind the scenes. This is an energy of like thievery. It's an energy of secrecy, and it's not the most trustworthy. So we do want to see if this is a warning or not, especially when it's right next to the Three of Pentacles. Now, again, it could be good, right? Like maybe there's going to be something that works out really well. But when we combine that with the mystery of the Eight of Cups, it's like, what's going on here? Now, here in the bonus, we have the Knight of Swords. I would say knights represent action, so similar to the eight, it's an action-based card, but they're also messengers, communication. And this knight, out of all the knights, is the fastest one. He's zipping and zooming and flowing and doing this and doing that. So again, for some Virgos, with this as like another footnote, either there's a lot happening or business is about to pick way up because this energy is zipping and zooming around for whatever reason. So whether it's you or someone else, but I want to dive deeper on all of it. Let's do it. Let's jump in and clarify. Okay, let's get a good shuffle here. See what we have for my Virgo friends. What's happening? And yes, this is where I go intuitive with the message, which means I just tell you how it feels to me. So feel free to do further research or rely on your base knowledge of tarot, because as you know, every single reading is about the reader's interpretation, and I'm just giving you mine. Let's go in on that Eight of Cups. And yeah, if you're a reader yourself, please feel free to play along. That's why the box is here. If you're feeling any messages you want to give to Virgo, you could drop it in the comments. I don't mind at all. Okay, why is that Eight of Cups here? Thank you. Cool. This energy is just super amped up, right? I don't want to say it jumps the gun, but we do have the Page of Wands in the upright underneath this Eight of Cups. It's like, oh, I can't wait to do this. I got to do it. There's like a certain anticipation, like somebody's, like shaking in their boots or shaking in the seat, like, oh, I want to do this. I want to do this. There's like a certain anticipation that is so unique for a Virgo reading. Usually what shows up in your spreads is like a little more calculated, a little more drawn in. This energy wants to make some sort of move. Now, remember, pages are similar to the knights, right? They could be students or they could be messengers. So, like when I see the Eight of Cups with the Page of Wands, it's like, yes, I can't wait for this next chapter, or I can't wait for this next adventure, or it's like I'm just ready to shift something. I'm ready for a change. That could be good, but it can also be a conversation. There is a part of it that feels a little rushed, like it might jump the gun. Now, I'm not going to say there's someone making a big old mistake. I'm not saying that, but there is an energy here that feels a little pressured or a little rushed. So again, hopefully this isn't somebody pressuring you or rushing you to do something quicker than you'd like it to do, or maybe there's just something you're really anticipating and you can't wait for. That's a good thing sometimes, right? It really depends on your story. But there's like this anticipation where it's like, I can't wait to do this. I can't wait to have that. I'm tired of waiting. I just want it. That's how it feels to me. And again, it could be a conversation. We got to see how the rest of this plays out. But we're just going to keep it moving. That's the big thing. It's like I'm squirming in my seat. It's like I can't wait to do this. I don't know what this is, but I'm super looking forward to it, I guess. Just watch out for pressure or anything that's rushed. I think that's a little warning there. But let's go in on the Three of Pentacles. We'll see what that has. So why is the Three of Pentacles here? Thank you. Okay. A lot of fire in the undertones. So we have the Ace of Wands in reverse. Yeah, this is an energy that's not as pumped or excited as the other one. Okay. That is super, very particular. Again, only take it however it hits for you. But all aces to me represent offers and opportunities. They're also conversational. So like there is this huge undertone of speaking, talking, messages, conversations. This energy is not receiving the information properly for some reason. It's like it's filtered through a different perspective. So with this energy on the front, like the fire, you like this could be an explosive talk of some kind. Watch out for miscommunications, misunderstandings, because it's like I tried telling so and so, but they got offended by it. Or I tried explaining this to them, but it's like they weren't understanding me. I'm getting someone that can't wait to move forward or do or say something, and I have another person that's receiving the information in a different way than it was meant to be received. That's super, super specific. So again, watch for miscommunications. Watch out for people taking things out of context. That could be another thing here with the Three of Pentacles, Ace of Wands. It could also be a slip of the tongue, too, especially as we get here to the back end with the Seven of Swords right next to this Three of Pentacles. Watch what you say to certain people, because this could be like loose lips, right? It could be like very gossipy, or someone like sharing secrets and stuff like that. So I know that's very specific. We're getting a lot of information this week, very much centered around communication. So whether it is an explosive talk or misreading, miscommunicating the information, or just someone letting something slip. Doesn't feel malicious, but I would just watch who you share certain information with, because this energy could have loose lips, depending. We're going to keep going. Could be a slip of the tongue as well. Like, whoops, I didn't mean to say that. Whoops, I wasn't. It's like when you have a surprise party planned for someone and someone tells the person like the day before by accident. It's like something like that. It's like a slip of the tongue. Let's go in on the Seven of Swords, and we'll do a quick recap before we get into the shadow. It's like, damn, I wasn't supposed to say that yet. And then the energy tries to walk it back. Yeah, there's something here with the communication, absolutely, because every single clarifier ties into a very similar thread. So we have the Ace of Pentacles in the upright, where it's like, hey, let me clear this up for you. Let me make it make sense, or let me edit this, or walk this back. So we have a lot of different storylines showing up, but every single one of them do tie into like information, sharing information, communication. And remember, I was seeing this Queen of Swords in the very beginning. Remember, she's straightforward and to the point, very clear. So, with all these miscommunications, maybe this is an energy that you're going to step into where it's like, let me be clear about this. Let me say this, like very straightforward. Now, the Ace of Pentacles, like the Ace of Wands, is an offer or opportunity as well. Could be a message. So, when I see it under the Seven of Swords, if we put just like a basic label on it. Could it be like an unexpected talk or a surprising talk? Absolutely. One that kind of comes out of nowhere. But in context of this other storyline that I've been picking up, it's like we have this energy, we have this slip of the tongue or potential gossiping. And then when we get to the back end, it's like, let me clear this up. No, that was a miscommunication. No, you got the wrong information. Let me clear this up for you. So there's a lot of stuff here regarding communication for some reason. Now, I do like the Ace of Pentacles, especially in the upright. That does bode well. I don't necessarily feel like this is a liar of some sort, but I do feel a little gossipy undertone. I also get this energy where it's like I'm sharing something that I wasn't meant to share, or I said something before I was supposed to say it. There was like very loose lipped for some reason. So I know I was getting something very similar in the water signs like a few weeks ago. It's kind of showing up for you now. So watch out for the gossipy stuff. But let's go through and do a quick recap. Then we'll get into the shadow. If you kindly look in the box, we had a lot of specifics come out here this week. But position number one, we have the Eight of Cups with the Page of Wands. This is an energy that's super antsy and, it's like, I can't wait to do this. I can't wait to do that. There's like a big anticipation building. It's like, I don't want to say it's impatience, but it's like, I have to do this or I can't wait to do it. Moving to the middle, we have the Three of Pentacles with the Ace of Wands in reverse. There is a lot of energy here around talks and messages. This one is either sharing a secret, gossiping, little slip of the tongue potentially, or a miscommunication where it's like I said something, but the person took it the wrong way. So watch out for that. If there's anything going on with communication that doesn't make sense to you, like ask poignant questions and like really clear it up immediately. Because moving to the back end, we have the Seven of Swords with the Ace of Pentacles. Again, more communication. So whether it's an unexpected or surprising talk or message, absolutely that could be the case. But to me, this is an energy trying to clear something up or trying to make something make sense after the fact. So there's a lot of yapping. There's a lot of chit chat here, my friend. So if you're in hermit mode, keep your eyes open for all this. Please take a screenshot if you want to look into it further. Let's see what's in the shadows. Okay, let's get a good shuffle here for Virgo. And yes, I always like to pull a shadow card at the very end just to see whether it's something within you or something you don't quite see. Shadow cards don't always have to be a challenge. They could be a good thing. So let's get you one. Oh, and yes, if you made it to this point in the reading, please feel free to check out channel memberships. I'll put a link for it in the comments below. It's a beautiful way to support the channel, and I have much love for all my channel members. All right, let's get this going here. What do we got for Virgo, please? Thank you. Cool. Yeah, all right, so the Nine of Wands, the Wounded Warrior, and that kind of fits the cautionary energy we've been picking up this week. The Nine of Wands, as already mentioned, is usually depicting a person in front of a wall that they've built with a little bandage on their head. That's why people call it the Wounded Warrior. And in its best case scenario, it's protective, it's cautious, it's skeptical, and yeah, it just moves through situations that way. So with all we're seeing here about letting things slip and watching what you say to who, and this person saying this and that person saying that, the Nine of Wands in the shadows is absolutely an energy where it's like, just be a little cautious here. You don't have to shut down completely, but there's just something that you should treat fragile if that makes sense. Now, the biggest shadow side downside of this Nine of Wands, it could sometimes represent somebody that's been through a lot of really, really difficult situations, and they still have a lot of that baggage, so to speak. And again, nothing wrong with that. No judgment here. We all have it, right? Even me. But this Nine of Wands can sometimes reject everyone and everything. So again, whether it's a thought process, a habit, a person, it's like, nope, my wall's up. Nope, my wall's up. Nope, danger, danger, danger. So just watch out for that here. So we're going to put that Nine of Wands down right there, my friends. That's what I have for you this week. Don't click away just yet, though. I'm going to give you the details of the April subscriber surprise. If you would like further insight on your situation, or you'd like to have a chat with me, you can book a personal session with me at my website, mastermetaphysics.com. But for the April subscriber surprise, we're doing a nice winner's choice once again. At the end of the month, I will choose 3 lucky subscribers to either win their choice of the Gilded Tarot Royale or one of the custom-made crystal pendants from my website, mastermetaphysics.com. So winner's choice. And if you'd like to get your name in for this, it's 2 simple things, as always, my friends. First, you must be subscribed. And second, you can let me know down in the comments, how much do you know about the meanings of tarot cards? Are you an expert reader? Are you a beginner, intermediate? Do you know a lot? Do you know a little? You'll be entered to win. And at the end of the month, the winners will be announced in my posts tab. YouTube changed it. And yeah, that's where it'll be, my friends. Much love, and I'll talk to you soon.